Hello friends, my name is Dave. Thank you for joining me on this fragrance hobby where we just hang out and chat about fragrance. Now, a lot of times I'll wear fragrance just for myself. I'll put them on, go out, and through the day I'll smell them, and it's just very enjoyable. But because they're from the smaller houses and perfumes that people do not talk about, so it's kind of hard for me to decide whether to show you guys or will you even care. But it's just so enjoyable. I just wish people would find it, and I would not call this like hidden treasure, or maybe I'll just call this like treasure hunt, trying to find something that are good and also not expensive. Now, this is from the house of Tous, T-O-U-S. It's a Spanish house that started making jewelry back in 1920s. So therefore, one of the very few men's fragrance they have. The first one is from showing 1920, their origin. They tell you how proud they are of their heritage. They started making jewelries, but it's until 2002 they came out with their first men's fragrance. It's called Tous for Men, which I do not have. But here's a flanker. 2013, this is the Intense version. And in 2010, they made a sports version. So it was Tous for Men, and then the sports, and then the Intense version. And somewhere in there, they made this origin. Now, this smells totally different than these two, all right? This is for the colder weather, so I'm not going to talk about this here. As far as these two, since this one come out, let's go in sequence. Tous for Sports, I'll spray it on and talk you through it. This is the one that I'm talking about when I'm just driving around, either working or running errands. I'll spray on my shirt, and through the day I'll smell something very pleasant, very happy, uplifting. Let me drink the water. And it just brings me joy. It just makes me happy. So even though no one's talking about this one, I just have to bring it to you. All right. Now the sports, in the very top, you're gonna get the lemon and aldehyde. Aldehyde is basically smell a little bit soapy, like clean clothes. So if you dry your clothing and then there's a certain type of smell, the cleanness, that's aldehyde. And that's the top where when you spray, this uplifting is very fresh. This is one of those fresh lemons. Some lemon could be more like sweeter side, maybe like a meringue pie, one of those lemony notes. But this is uplifting. With the aldehyde, it's just very clean and fresh right on the top. Should I do this one side by side or go one at a time? Let's go one at a time. Now, as it goes to the middle part of the fragrance, it's going to bring out the ginger, and then you're going to smell the sweetness of apple. All right, ginger is also fresh, so those three fresh notes is going through, and then you're going to add in the apple. It's a red apple. It's not the green apple, but with a little sourness, but this is red apple. And then it's going to go to the dry down with cedar. That's going to be a lighter type of wood. You're going to have musk and cashmere wood. Now, cashmere wood is basically like cashmere. It smells like musk. It's a synthetic note. It's not real, but they also added some oak moss. And I'm sure there's no real oak moss, which was basically banned back in 2014, I guess, by IFRA. So I'm sure for this price, I didn't mention it, right? It's maybe 20, 25-ish. So it's not expensive at all. Even though all are synthetic notes, but they're very, very enjoyable and very pleasant. So if you can imagine all those notes playing together, I'm smelling this on my hand. It's really, really nice. I love this, especially if you spray on your shirts and the wind blow and you get a whiff of this. You'll know what I'm talking about. It's just a happy note, a happy scent, I mean. So the dominant notes at the end is going to be the lemon and the aldehyde and ginger, and with a little bit of apple there. So yeah, you get the idea of this is a very fresh. I'm going to spray it again. I really like this one. So 2 sprays. So one more spray. This is so good. This one, without really thinking about it, I reach for it often, especially on a little bit warm day, but then even on the colder days. There's as I mentioned before in other videos, there's something refreshing about it if you wear this in the cold weather. It's just like maybe drinking lemonade while walking on snow. How's that? So yeah, this is great. Now let's go to Tous Intense. This one came out 2013. These are so cheap that I don't mind spraying a lot more and just douse yourself. But you don't need to, because it sprays out a lot of juice, and also this is not weak. This is very, very decent performance. So I don't need a lot. Now right away, this one, Tous Intense, I'm getting the, if you know, let's see, I brought this. If you know this one, Mont Blanc Legend. Basically, it smells like Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. One of those smells that when you walk in the mall, the store Abercrombie and Fitch, you know what I'm talking about. And this smells basically like 50 or 60% like that. It's very pleasant, but it's warmer than these sports, even though both are for the warmer weather. But this in itself is warmer. But there's just a sparkle. There's a, not sparkle, but there's a sage. Yes, sage. There's a sage. If you ever smell sage, the flower, you know what I'm talking about. There's a zest, or it's fresh, but it's dark. There's a zestiness to it, and adding the lavender. There's a neroli, but it's not really coming through that strong for me. I love the notes of neroli. That's my favorite floral. But then, yeah, I do pick up a little bit. I do not think it plays a very dominant, spot. All right. So on the top, you're gonna get clear sage and petitgrain, and I'm smelling the lavender is coming in. Yeah, there's orange blossom. You can pick that up. All right. And then it's gonna dry down to a little sweeter tonga bean and amber, and there's some musk and oak moss. So both of these are very, very, very pleasant, very non-offensive. Now I forgot to mention, Tous smells a little bit like this one, maybe 50 or 60% like Dolce Gabbana Light Blue or Intense. They're not clones, okay? For sure they're not clones, but they resemble each other. And yeah, I just love these two smell. So if you, like me, you spray different fragrance on different parts of your body at the same time, that way you get to enjoy a lot more, right, than just one smell. If you really love fragrance like me, I'm sure if you have a larger collection, you know, I wish that I have a lot more arms that I could spray different fragrances and enjoy. So if I'm just spraying one fragrance a day, I'll never ever get to go through my collection even in 10, 20 years. So yeah, I gotta spray a lot every day. So sometimes I'm pretty thankful that when a fragrance doesn't last all day, maybe it only lasts 2 or 3 hours, that means I get to wear 3 or 4 fragrances per day, per arm. So a lot of time my family would say that I'm crazy, I'm smelling too strong because I got mixture of fragrances. But sometimes when I get compliments, either at home or when I go out, I often do not know which one they're referring to. And I'll tell them that, I'll say, oh thanks, but I don't know which one that is. And when they ask me, I actually do not know. So sometimes I cannot let them smell me, especially during the pandemic. It happened a few times where I'll go to stores or I'll go to UPS, and the customer service will ask me, what am I smelling so good? Especially if you go into the store and the door is behind you, the wind blows and it carries your scent to the customer service. And they will ask me, oh, you smell nice. What are you wearing? And I actually do not know what I'm wearing. And they're wearing masks. I'm wearing mask, but they could still smell it. But I cannot let them smell my, my arms, and yeah, that's not cool. So anyway, sorry, long story, but I shouldn't keep talking. But like I said, this channel that we just keep chatting and just enjoy this hobby, right? Now this is only let's say 50% of the light blue intense. So don't think it's a clone. This one has the salty notes, while this one does not. Tous does not. That's a very big difference. And as far as the intense, yeah, I would say it's about 50 or 60% like the Mont Blanc Legend. Okay. I do not own the original Fierce, so sorry, I cannot compare. But it's in that genre. So if you enjoy Mont Blanc Legend, you're gonna enjoy this. But you know what I have to say? If you ever iron your iron suit, a men's suit, right after you ironed, let it cool down just a bit and smell it. There's a zinginess to it. And that was the thing that I was trying to refer to. It's hard to explain that. That's exactly what it is. So go smell it. Yes, exactly. Oh, now I get it. I was trying to figure out how to explain that sensation this fragrance is bringing you. Yes, all right then. The longevity is all pretty good, all very decent. This, even though it's only 25 and under, I'm sorry, $25 and under, the longevity is still good. So don't worry about that. It's gonna last you at least half a day for sure. And as far as age, maybe 18 and up, and 30, 40-year-old, no problem. Okay, 20s, 30s, and 40s, no problem. Or even older if you enjoy. Since I think on the left, older gentlemen can get away with it more because it smells like suits. How's that? Yes, like tailor-made suit that's just freshly ironed. Yes, I'm glad I found the analogy. It's perfect. All right, what else can I share with you? So, yeah, I was gonna say, I should not be bringing out like comparisons. It's not trying to say it's a clone, but the ingredients, it's all very similar. It's all used across all the fragrances. There's only so many ingredients. So if you listen to my review or anybody's review, we keep mentioning the same type of notes, right? And the note pyramid is all about the same. But just like a hamburger, there's only so many ways you can make a hamburger. You can make different taste of the hamburger, but at the end of the day, it's still hamburger. There's a lot of shared ingredients. No matter where you go in the world, maybe if you go to Mongolia, they will have a goat hamburger, right? But it's still meat, right? You taste goat instead of beef, but then it's still hamburger. You get what I'm saying? There's different types of buns, different types of cheese or lettuce or tomato, but there's only so much you can do. So anybody could say, hey, this, is generic because it smells like everything else, or the bubblegum sweetness is too popular, or marine notes or citrus notes and things like that. That's why I always say it's super hard to be groundbreaking. It rarely comes along. So I'm not gonna hold the designer, the perfumer, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna take them in a bad way, okay? So with that said, very, very enjoyable. I enjoy this on my own, and finally I'm gonna bring it to you since I'm doing videos. These are great treasure hunts, okay? I struck gold with this. Considering the price, I'll give this 8.5 or 9. This is how much I enjoy both of this. This is fresher, the Sport, and because even though it's fresh, but it gets a little bit dense, so it's not like super fresh that you could wear to the gym. All right, yeah, you could get away with it if you don't spray a lot, okay? Maybe a couple sprays enough, and it does project. Both of these projects. Right now I'm smelling in my arm. I don't have to stick my nose to it. I can smell it. It's projecting really, really well. It's been almost like 15 minutes, so this is great. Hey, thanks guys. I hope that you find this helpful. Maybe you give it a try. It's not too expensive. So always great to be discovering new fragrance, especially from a house that's not well hyped or known. So give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it. As always, thank you for watching, and I really appreciate it. So see you next time.